Let's hear it. No. Nope. All right, one more. I like that. It's like a bird at a rave. All right, I'm changing it. Hi. So funny when someone asks me to be raw and natural and authentic, which I am authentic, but to be like not comical and serious, it's difficult for me. But this isn't a laughing matter, and this is why we're doing Connect Call, you guys. No, seriously. Let's do this again. Take two. Hi, I'm Hannah Brett. Who am I, you're asking yourself? Hannah. I'm a helper. No. Hi. So I've been asked. Well, I haven't been asked. I'm wanting to do this. I needed to do an intro, a solo video. I'm so nervous. I don't know if anybody saw Amy Poehler's Good Hang, the first episode where Rachel Dratch just can't get it together, and like wires and the doorbell and dog. That's how I feel right now. I just feel like red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. We can edit that. Okay. Hi, my name's Hannah Brett. Hi, I'm Hannah. You're probably asking yourself, hey, Hannah, what are you doing with this podcast? What is it? Do we really need another mental health and addiction podcast? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And this is why. My name is Hannah Brett. You don't know me, but you will get to know me. For a very long time, I have been working in the treatment industry, I think over 20 years now. And my job, my role was marketing personnel, business development, where I got to really represent some of the best programs in the country for young adults, adolescents, professionals, adults, you name it, I repped it or I knew about it. And through those 20 years, I have been kind of a collector. I like to say a collector and a connector, in that I have met a ton of amazing providers. I've also met a ton of not so amazing providers. And so why I kind of wanted to do this show, Connect Call, was to really highlight all the good out there for mental health and addiction. So what is Connect Call? What is my podcast? What is it and how is it going to be different? I won't have a slogan, you know, like I can't think of one right now, you know, like just call, I won't have that. Although I don't know. No, I won't have that. But why Connect Call and how it is different is like this. So Connect Call came to me one day when I was thinking to myself, Hannah, in your job in over 20 years, well, here's the thing. I have been really stalling on this podcast. And as you all know, if anybody's been following my announcements, my teasers, my shout outs that Connect Call's coming, it's been like over a year and I haven't put it out yet, but it's coming to you very soon to subscribe, to watch, to listen, to get tangible resources and steps and tips and know who the best providers are when it comes to mental health and addiction. That's right. Connect Call. No, Connect Calls like this. It's kind of my job. So for the longest time, I lived in imposter syndrome because I didn't think I was an expert. I felt like an expert needed to have a clinical background and letters behind their name. Yes, that is important. But in the role that I have played in my life and in my career, I like to say that I have a PhD in picking up the phone for families in crisis and people. And as cheesy as that may seem, it is the truth. For 20 years, morning, noon, and night, I have been the other end of the phone with every individual out there, from as small as needing just a therapist to how do we intervene on my child who keeps running from all these treatment centers. I have seen it all. I've run the gamut. Okay. There is nothing you have said or can say that will shock me or surprise me. And the best part of my job is once I get to hear your story, I get to connect you with some of the best providers that I've collected over the years. And I thought to myself, Hannah, why not share this with more people? Because I got to tell you, I'm not going to get all my statistics right, but I do know our country does have a mental health problem. Every country does, right? But our country definitely has um, a mental health problem, and finding resources and good resources is difficult, and affordable resources is difficult. So what I was trying to do with this podcast was kind of do what I do on the daily, but on a bigger platform. I will be telling your story, or a very relatable story that you'll be able to connect with, of a family, an individual who's in crisis or has questions for their mental health. And in real time, I'll be connecting that story to who I would be calling to help walk me through this process and the next steps on this case. And in doing that, I'm going to introduce you to some badass people from around the country that I literally trust my life, my family's life with. And just, I'm going to share so much information because information's power, I think. I also am doing this podcast because I wanted people to walk away from a podcast with like, oh, I've got some steps here, or I've got some really good resources here, or, and just really like can take away some stuff. It's important. It's important to me because in my job, the last thing I want everybody to be doing is Googling. Don't do that. Don't go to the internet. It's kind of like finding a surgeon. You know what I mean? You're going to go based on referral. Treatment, one's life, one's sanity is the same thing, you know? So I think what I'm really excited about is really going to be the idea that I'm going to be able to show you guys, like, not only who the good guys are and the good treatment, but all kinds of treatment, because there's no one way to recover from your mental health and addiction, or self-medicating. There isn't one way. So I'm going to be sitting in the seat as a professional, but also as Hannah, who has struggled her whole life with depression, anxiety, then went to self-medicating, started getting addicted to drugs and alcohol. And Connect Call for me is the answer for why I struggled so long, I think. You know, like, I truly believe I have tried every treatment. I have done everything. I have asked for help. I have called the resources so that people like you could struggle less. That is my gift for the world, I think. I don't know everything. I haven't tried everything. I haven't met everybody. But I think if you tune in, if you subscribe, you're gonna get some good stuff. And I'm a good time. I really am, you know. Humor saved my life. But no, seriously, my hope for this, my hope for Connect Call is that I can give that single mom out there who's really worried they have no control over their son, who's taking her emotionally hostage, some information so she doesn't feel overwhelmed and has power. I also hope I can like help that husband out there who's letting their wife drive around the city with their kids, getting DUIs up the wazoo, know how to intervene. Or, that young man or girl who's in a D1 school playing sports, that it's okay, you are strong and you can take an antidepressant. That makes you stronger when you ask for help. I also am doing it for all the kids out there that feel like there's no hope, kids who are born in the wrong identity and think they're not welcome in this world, kids who have grown up in this new world that we live in that is nothing like how we grew up, and kind of learning and showing you guys like what is out there to help your kid, and to show kids that there's so much hope out there. Because I've tried it all, everybody. Now, my hope also is when you do tune in, that you take with you some really helpful steps and resources. And so you're not going back on Google or doing it your way. My hope is that from this podcast, more people will look at mental health and addiction the same way they look at their physical health. And from the providers I show you and have as guests and the information I give you, you will follow those directions and guidance and let me help and let them help. More important. And have a good time. We have to laugh at ourselves, but I really want to show off my friends. They're kind of badass. And I want to let you know there's a lot of good people out there doing the good work. There's also a lot of bad people out there, but you know, I think showing you the good people is going to be the way to go. Oh, that was stupid. Cut. My name is Hannah Brett. I came into this world an actress. No, I really was. I was the president of the Thespian Society and the president of Safe Rides in my high school. If you don't know what Safe Rides is, it saved your life a long time ago before Uber. We would go pick you up from parties when you were drunk, you know, and then be in the homecoming parade on a float with a crash car and chanting, if you're drunk and cannot drive, call 1-866-445 or something. I don't know. Long story short is I grew up and I didn't take care of my mental health. And then I started self-medicating and things got a lot worse. And I went to treatment and I have met with tons of therapists, tons of psychiatrists, and I've asked for help and tried multiple treatments for everything. And yeah, I'm a wealth of knowledge. I want Connect Call to be, because so many times when I pick up that phone, I wish more people could hear what I'm saying. Not saying I know everything, because I don't. But man, I know how to get out of the way and show you the way, if that makes sense, by connecting you with the most amazing providers out there. And then it's the best gift you can give somebody. Their sanity, hopefully, their life even, or just some hope that it's going to be okay. So why not do it louder and bigger and go on a podcast and do it? Duh. And most importantly, Connect Calls for my mom. Monica Brett had no idea how to save her kid, how to love her kid differently, how to get her kid into treatment, how to work on herself while her kid got sober. But you know what she did do? She listened to the helpers and she was guided and she stepped out of the way. And now I have a podcast. So tune in to Connect Call. And just remember, parents out there, if you're thinking you have no control, I actually do have a slogan. My one line is, whoever has the pesos has the say-sos, okay? We're going to drop the mic with that. Don't know how to do that with that, but tune in. It's going to be fun.